Good morning. Well, as you can hear by the sound on the roof, it's not really. It's not the most conducive day for the last day of getting things prepped, ready for you. Well, after I think it's 103 days, I get to pack all this up and move all the computer and all the files back into the office. It's been a long time. It's been 3 haircuts. Well over 1 million steps on my Fitbit. I've climbed over 14,000 metres going up and down stairs, just trying to keep busy. But finally the day has come. I'm just going to do a little video today, mostly just sort of showing you and telling you what to expect from tomorrow, and hopefully getting back to normal. Well, sorry, as normal as can be, because there will be differences, but we will just have to work through those, and as we go on and things change, we'll be able to do more and more. Okay, here goes. Right, so I'll just run over a few areas that will maybe answer some questions that you may have. The first one that we always hear sort of in the media, and it was put out a lot, is it safe? Well, realistically, it's $1 million question. The infection rates are reducing in the country, so yes, we believe as a business, as we have all the way through, that your self-contained holiday homes are very safe. But to be safe, we've had to be really hard with our measures that we've put into place, and we do plan to start easing some of these, which are our personal rules, as soon as we can, which will include allowing guests, which we hope will be in the next couple of weeks, once we've got over this initial period of you all coming back. Obviously the rules dictated by government guidelines, those will be altered as and when the government allow us to do so. The second one just want to talk about is hygiene. We have hand sanitizers outside the office at this moment. They're just the standard pump action ones that you get. We have some auto dispensing units that are on order, which hopefully will be with us next week, and then there's zero contact, you don't have to touch them. So we ask, before you do any transaction with the office, if you can just sanitize your hands. The keypad terminal of the card machine is wiped down between every transaction, and also these dispensers that we put outside all the other facilities, as and when they're open. The first one of these we probably expect to be the laundry, which will be in the next week or so. The other one, which obviously the government advises all the time, is frequent hand washing. So if you pop to the office or you pop to the laundry or whatever, when you go back to your caravan, give your hands a good wash, and that helps prevent the spread. The next one to look at really is obviously the big keyword, social distancing. It's quite simple really. The government guidelines are there, and they currently are up to 6 people from different households can meet outside as long as they keep socially distanced, which is 1 metre plus, or preferably 2 metres. As of tomorrow, the 4th of July, 2 households can meet indoors, again as long as the social distancing measures are met. I have done a little bit of looking into this. They do suggest limiting the number of people that you do see in a short period, so it's not a case of having 2 in, letting them go, having another 2 in. Basically the more people you interact with, the more chance of spreading the virus. other recommendations such as ventilating your caravan when you have people in. I have a friend who's a doctor, and he tweeted something the other day that the chances of spreading the virus are something like 18% indoors, whereas it's only 3% outdoors. So this is obviously why they're looking at this. We are looking at the top field by the garages as to whether we just make this available for a play area and picnics and such like that, and whether we need to mark out areas so that people could go and sit in peace, that they don't feel that people are sat on top of each other. But that's one of those, because you've all got your own space, it may not really be necessary, but we are going to look at it. One that I forgot to mention was obviously queuing. As and where things get open, obviously the office is open first. We have marked a queue line outside the office. It's only, I think it's 5 people long, but so probably average transaction really is about sort of 2 minutes. So if you were in that queue, it'd be about 10 minutes. We didn't really want to take it much further because we were then crossing a road and going up a hill where it's a narrow road. But obviously, if and when the laundry and the bar, there will be markers again in place, just to help, really. Okay. Right, rules and track and trace. Obviously, we sent the pack out to everybody. One of the important ones were the rules that we basically had to put in place to legally be allowed to open for the risk assessments. If you haven't already returned your copy, can you do so as soon as possible? If you need another copy, just ask us and we can either provide you a hard copy or email you a copy. The main one from this, which we've been asked, is, and it's the same with pubs and everything, is the check-in in and out. The rules have changed slightly from yesterday, whereas at first they were asking for everybody that was there. They've now just basically said one name per party that is responsible. Then if ever it was a case of track and trace, they would just get in touch with the one person and say, right, who in your party was there between X dates. So if it's a case of you're coming for 4 days but your husband's coming home after 2 days, or vice versa, put down whoever is staying the longest as the main point for that one. Obviously we gave you the number for the phone. This isn't a manned line. We just pick it up and update the file as and when. So you've got the option to text. You can WhatsApp that number if you have WhatsApp, or you can email the office email address, and we'll keep them files up to date. And they're kept for 21 days and then basically destroyed, because after 21 days there wouldn't have been any risk of transmission, so the next period would start. Just a quick look at obviously the shared facilities that we've got, which to start with, none of them will be open. The first one that we expect to open will be the laundry in the next week or so. We're just waiting for a few little things coming so we can get that open. The rules will be on display for you to see, which will be there to meet social distancing guidelines and hygiene. If we find these aren't being adhered to, it's simple, we may have to close the laundry. The showers, we've decided to keep the showers closed as all the caravans have their own facilities. It really isn't worthwhile, the cleaning and the risk assessments and everything that we would have to do to open them up. The shop, at the current moment, we're having to use this as an extension to the office, because if we have to have a meeting with somebody, whether that's a sales meeting or it's a discussion about something in the park, the office literally isn't big enough to have people in. So the shop is basically the extended office. So we meet, again, the distancing guidelines. The main one, which I know will be the upsetting one for some of you, is the bar, which for the time being will have to stay closed. Being an old building, it's got lots of little areas and nooks and crannies and pinch points that really we would struggle to get decent numbers in. We don't want to really be having to do table bookings and saying to you you're only allowed an hour and a half or 2 hours. In our opinion, just offering somebody a limited time space is fraught with danger. Basically encouraging you to say, right, you've got 2 hours to drink as much as possible, and then you get all the other problems incurred with that, and people saying, well, I'm not leaving, I'm on the table and I'm staying. And for the safety of staff and customers at the moment, it's not what we want to do. We've looked at the idea of drinking outside, but when you get days like today, you can't actually do anything about that. We'd end up with 2 staff on and no customers outside. So basically we're just going to bide our time. We're going to look at how other pubs locally and nationally are getting around these issues. And at the end of the day, the first priority for us at any time is the caravan park, and that is where we've focused our importance to be able to get you back on site, basically. Right, deliveries. Gas and electric, in this period with those that had to stay there, we've successfully done orders over the phone and delivered to the caravan. We intend to carry this on, so if you're just coming out shielding, or you're just basically scared about the virus and you don't want to come out, you can just call the office, order your gas and electric, pay for it over the phone, and we'll deliver it. We just knock on your door and leave it on your doorstep or your decking. Food deliveries, takeaway deliveries, we are allowing these, but we ask that you arrange to meet the driver or call him to guide him into your caravan. So we basically haven't got delivery drivers driving around site, potentially knocking on caravans of people that are shingling or scared. Or parcels, we obviously stopped these in the new year because we wanted to reduce the number of vans coming on site. It was getting to a point where it was silly. We did allow this for a period in the lockdown period, as obviously the government were advising not to go out, so people were able to get things delivered to them. But again, we've stopped this because it's reducing contact points. We have a driver coming to us, the driver drops off with us, the customer then comes to us, and for the safety of customers and staff, again, that's why we're doing that. There are several collection points locally. I think Hambleton Garage is one, I think it could be an Amazon one, where you can arrange to have your items delivered there, and they are set up for collection points. Right, a little bit of out and about in the area, really. Supermarkets and shops, the peak times seem to have been between about 10 and 3, and that's where you seem to be queuing most to get in the shops. But obviously with more people returning to work, these times may alter. And obviously some smaller shops may request that you wear a face covering of some description, whether that be a mask or just a scarf before entering the shops. Local pubs and restaurants, like us, they're only just reopening. So if you fancy trying one, it might be worth checking their website or a Facebook page to see how they're working. Very few, from what I've looked at, seem to be allowing just walk-ins. It seems to be all bookings only. Some have operated throughout the lockdown period very successfully and safely, as takeaways, and have said they're planning to carry on doing so, because obviously having lost maybe 50% of their occupancy, this allows them to keep some extra revenue coming in. So again, check the websites, Facebook, if this is something they're doing. Some even did delivery. Some of the local takeaways have operated using a ring and collect or a drive-by collect. The chip shop at Billsborough, you ring and order, you give them your description of your car and they bring it out to your car at the time that you requested. Or other places have literally just said it's a queuing system, it's only one in, it's one out, and you queue down the road and wait for your turn. Setting up your caravan. Remember to open it up safely. I posted a video the other day, and those that saw it will have an idea on how to do that. Those that haven't, simply the video recommends ventilate your caravan well, opening all the windows, especially the windows that are near taps. Run all your taps for a couple of minutes. Disconnect and disinfect the shower head and run the hose with the head off. If you can't remove the head, place a bag over it and cut a hole in it so that it pours like a tap rather than spraying out. And obviously check your electric and gas are all working and you don't think there's any problems, and if there are, contact the office as soon as you can. Right, so I've rambled on, but hopefully I've given you some information which you might be able to use in the next few weeks, and all I can say is that we're all looking forward to you coming back either tomorrow or in the next few weeks, however time allows for you, and we can get back slowly to being Rockley Fall, and hopefully I will never have to make another video for you again from my conservatory. Okay, thank you. Look forward to seeing you. Bye.